murder, suicide, overdoses. No, this isn't the start of a horror movie trailer. This is the history of the Cecil Hotel. A 15-story building boasting 700 guest rooms, based in downtown LA. The Cecil Hotel opened to the public in 1927. Due to its proximity to public transport, the hotel was originally designed as a middle-class hotel for tourists and business travelers seeking affordable accommodation. There were stained glass windows, potted palms, and a beautiful marble lobby. Sadly, just 2 years after the Cecil Hotel opened, the world was thrown into the Great Depression. The hotel was forced to lower its weekly and monthly rates to make ends meet, and this attracted the wrong sort of guests, as it now became affordable to those with very little money or a place to get up to no good. During the 1950s, with the Great Depression having affected so many lives, Skid Row began to develop in a part of downtown LA surrounding the hotel. The homeless were pushed into this area, living a rough life on the streets. Some of them were even housed at Cecil Hotel. Due to its huge size, low price, and perhaps the decision to introduce Skid Row, the Cecil Hotel soon became a meeting place for criminals, murderers, junkies, adulterers, runaways, and prostitutes. The hotel encountered its first suicide on the 22nd of January, 1927. Hang on, wasn't that the same year the hotel opened? A 52-year-old man by the name of Percy Ormond Cook shot himself in the head after failing to reconcile with his wife and child. Okay, I've just researched some dates here, and there's conflicting information regarding the date the hotel opened. Most sources say 1927, however, there are some saying 1924. Given that the first reported suicide was in 1927, I'd find it hard to believe that they'd have a suicide taking place in the first month of them opening. That's odd. It would make sense for them to have opened before 1927. If you found any concrete evidence about when the hotel actually opened, because I can't find a date. I've got the exact date at which this first suicide was reported, but I don't have the actual date the hotel opened. How is that possible? Anyway, let's get back to it. A number of deaths occurred at the Cecil Hotel, from suicides to murders to overdoses. However, the hotel was also home to well-known serial killer Richard Ramirez. He occupied the hotel in the mid-80s, and he would use the hotel as his base for his killing spree. After conducting a gruesome murder, he would remove his clothes, dumping them in the hotel trash, and enter the hotel in his underwear, or sometimes even naked. You would think that this sort of behavior, especially since he did this many times, would alert one of the hotel staff. However, given the terrible reputation of the hotel, this was simply ignored, or worryingly, deemed normal. After decades of this really horrible reputation, the Cecil Hotel decided to rebrand part of its hotel and call it Stay at Maine. Stay at Maine took residents on the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th floors of Hotel Cecil. There were 2 separate lobbies to both hotels, however, one factor remained the same. Both hotels shared the same 2 elevators, and it would even have a separate booking site. So, at first glance, you'd never know it was part of the Cecil Hotel. There is one way you would have known that Stay at Maine was part of the Hotel Cecil, or the Cecil Hotel. If you had clicked on the website, you would see that it takes you to the Hotel Cecil website. I would be interested to know, did Elisa search for the hotel on her web browser and see that it was part of the Cecil? If she did she then research the history of the Cecil Hotel, like any of us would have done? We don't know the answer to this, as no information has been released, information on her laptop or the contents of her laptop during the lead up to her death. So guests from the now reputable stay at Maine hotel would have to have some kind of interaction with the guests from the Cecil hotel in those elevators. You would never know who you're going to encounter in those elevators. So that was a brief history of the Cecil Hotel. I hope you enjoyed that. So just to recap, we understand that Stay at Maine has 3 floors in the Cecil Hotel. They share the same 2 elevators, and the hotel seemed to turn a blind eye to odd behaviour, and perhaps this is because they were so used to seeing it. Join me next week as we take a look into Elisa's life, in her own words, through her Tumblr posts. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. I think there's so much for you to do. Do you know what I mean?
I have arrived in La La Land, and there's a monstrosity of a building next to the place I'm staying. When I say monstrosity, mind you, I'm saying as in gaudy. But then again, it was built in 1928, hence the Art Deco theme. So yes, it is classy, but then since it's LA, it went on crack. Fairly certain this is where Baz Luhrmann needs to film The Great Gatsby.